Vandami Bhante, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Requesting for Ajivattam Agashila.
Okay.
Okasu Vandami Bhante, Bharatena Katam Sapam Aparadham Kamatu Me Bhante, Dutiyamti Okasu Vandami Bhante, Bharatena Katam Sapam Aparadham Kamatu Me Bhante, Tatiyamti Okasa Vandami Bhante, Bharatena Katam Sabam Aparadham Kamatu Me Bhante, Okasa Aham Bhante, Tisarane Nasu Ajiv Attamagashilam Dhammang Yachami, Anubham Katva Shilam Detame Bhante, Dutiyamti Okasa Aham Bhante, Tisarane Nasa Ajiva Attamaggashilam Dhammang Yachami, Anugaham Katva Shilam Detame Bhante, Tatiyamti Okasa Aham Bhante, Tisarane Nasa Ajiva Attamaggashilam Dhammang Yachami, Anugaham Katva Shilam Detame Bhante.
Yamahang vadami thang vadeta.
Bhante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Saranagamanang sampunnang.
Bhante.
Panatipatha veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Paratipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Kamesu michhachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kameshu michchachara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musavadha veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Pisuna vacha veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Vishunavacha veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Parusa vacha veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Parusa vacha veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Sampaphalabha veramani sikkhapadang samadhyami.
Sampapalapa veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Micha ajiva veramani sikkhapadang samadhyami.
Vicha ajiva veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Tisaranena saddhing ajivatmaka silang dhammang sadhukang surakitang katva apamadhena sampadhe tabbang.
Bhante sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Right. Now we can start the sermon.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear devotees, subject to the discourse today, Punnovada Sutta, advice to Venerable Punna. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. In the evening, Venerable Punna rose from meditation and went to the Blessed One. And it says, then he did the Padakina. In early times, if we paying our homage to somebody, we go around 3 times for the right side. That person in the middle, we go around him for 3 times. We put our right hand to his side and left hand to the external. In this way, 3 times, that we called doing Padakina. After Padakina, he worshipped the Blessed One, and he sat down at one side, and he said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, O Lord, it would be good if the Blessed One would give me a brief advice. Having heard the Dhamma from the Blessed One, I will abide alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent, and resolute. That means this Venerable Punna was feeling some kind of um, so he's now unhappy because now lot of time after his ordination, but he couldn't attain the enlightenment yet. So that's why he went to Lord Buddha and asking uh, that I need to go alone to seclusion, and I want to be heedful, ardent, and resolute. Please, Blessed One, give me some kind of advice in brief. I can practice myself if you advise me like that way. So after that, the sutta is starting. The Lord Buddha explains the Dhamma. There are punna visuals that are cognizable. We are the eye consciousness. They are agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desire, and inciting. There are some kind of visuals. They are so agreeable and pleasing and charming and it arose our feelings, emotions. But if a monk relishes them, welcomes them, and remains fastened to them, then in him, relishing them, welcoming them, and remaining fastened them, there arises delight. The craving arises. When we see some kind of visual, if we relish them, if we think about them, our mind remains fastened to them. So if our mind remains fastened, then there arises the craving or delight. So Lord Buddha is saying, visuals, the origination of delight. I tell you, comes the origination of suffering and stress. If the delight appears, the suffering and stress automatically arise in there. So we must understand, once we see something, as an example, you can see some woman or man. Once we look at them, it is so that visual is so agreeable and so pleasing and so charming, endearing, and fostering desires, inciting. But if we welcome that thought, that visual, we are going to uh, we are going to make some thoughts. He's so beautiful, or she's so beautiful, he's so handsome, and her hair like that, the teeth are like this way, like that way. So many thoughts arise because of that visual. If the thoughts arise, then we are remains fastened to them. Our mind go deeper in that visual. If our mind remains fastened to them, that means the craving arises, the delight arises. Lord Buddha is telling, the origination of delight equals to origination of suffering and stress. But if we look at, once we look at to that visual, if it's just a cognition for us, there are no suffering. If it's just a cognition of I, we are not welcoming it, we are not religious it, we are not thinking about it, then our mind is not remains fastened to it. So no suffering, no delight anymore, no craving anymore. If there are no craving, there are no suffering and stress. In the same manner, again, Lord Buddha is explaining, there are sounds what are cognizable via the ear. They are agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desires, and inciting. If a monk relishes them, welcomes them, and remains fastened to them, then in him, relishing them, welcoming them, and remaining fastened to them, there arises delight. From the origination of delight, I tell you, comes the origination of suffering and stress. As an example, if you listening to a music, those are first thing it meant, the sutta mentioned, the sounds are not independent. The every sound we cognize with a consciousness, with a cognition. If there are not if there's no cognition, there is no any idea of sound or the person who's listening. I tell you, because of the physical duality called ear and sound, because of this duality, the cognition arises, consciousness arises. But after that cognition, or after that consciousness, our experience starting. The starting point of our experience is a cognition always. After the cognition, the diluted mind creates a duality inside of your mind. There's an independent ear and there's an independent sound, but it's a conceiving of mind. Reality is just a cognition, because you can never living in the past, you can never living in the future. Past also come as a thought what arises in this very moment, and the future also comes as a thought what arises in this very moment. That we can only live in here and now, in this very moment. We can't live in any other way, in any other time, in any other day. So if we awake to this very moment very much, we don't have any time to think, we don't have any time to thoughts. We just have to awake to each and every experience, because our life is a series of experiences, series of cognitions. If you pay close attention to this very moment, you can feel there are uh, there are a series of cognitions arising and passing in your mind. Sometimes your attention goes to a visual, next second maybe to sound, for a sound, another second for a taste or smell, then again it goes to some tangible, like some wind touches your body. In another time your attention goes to a thought. In like that way, Lord Buddha's explained, it's like a um, it's like a room which has 6 doors. um, a sudden monkey in that room, he's trying to go out from those doors one by one, but he can't uh, vacate from that room. In the same manner, we have 6 doors. We are trying to go out from those, but we are not able to. Uh, and like a crazy monkey, our attention goes to one door to another door, another door to another door, like that way. So then again, Lord Buddha is explaining, there are aromas cognizable by the nose. They are pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desires, and inciting. If a monk relishes them, welcomes them, and remains fastened to them, then in him, realizing, relishing them, welcoming them, and remaining fastened to them, there arises delight. From the origination of delight, I tell you, comes the origination of suffering and stress. Because we don't have time to relishing something. Because all kind of thoughts and all kind of ideas about duality, that means as ear and sound, visual and eye, or actual world and me, those are always conceivings. Because we can only live in here and now, we can only experience a cognition. Other all things are just thoughts, just our preparations, which we are preparing inside of our mind, nothing else. So once we, then the next one, Lord Buddha again explaining, there are flavors cognizable via the tongue. We are agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desires, and inciting. If a monk relishes them, welcomes them, and remains fastened to them, then in him, relishing them, welcoming them, and remaining fastened to them, there arises delight. From the origination of delight, I tell you, comes the origination of suffering and stress. If we, once we go to eat something, it also just a cognition always. In 1 second, we can feel a one taste, another second, another taste. There's a series of taste. But that diluted mind always quote to present, the past and the future. As an example, I am tasting. There's a real taste. There is a real food, and that I am tasting. But if he only awakened to this very moment, he just have a cognition, nothing else. But the ordinary people not like that. So they're catching to those agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing tastes. So once they welcome them, relishing them, then our mind remains fastened to them. Our mind quote to them. So then there arises the delight, craving. From the origination of craving, delight, I tell you, the comes of the origination of suffering and stress. Because delight has the craving has three kind of cravings. Sometimes we crave to gain something. Sometimes we delight to get rid of something. Sometimes we delight to continue something. But always we must understand a desire mean a suffering. Because why? Once we feel a desire, that means always it shows a future. Desires always show you this future is so pleasing and agreeable. This moment is not good. So desires always showing a pleasant feeling in the future and gives you a bad feeling, unpleasant feelings in present moment. You feel tiredness, fatigue, restlessness, and mental stress once arise some kind of desire. No any big things. As an example, if you take a bath in with hot water, you may can arise a desire. I need to make this water much hotter than this. That means the desire about future. In the future, with after 5 seconds, once this hotness increase, I can have a pleasant thing. I can be happy in the future. But in present moment, mind gives you restlessness, fatigue, stress, mental anxiety, and etc. Each and every desire like that. And the next thing, there are tactile sensations. That means tangibles, cognizable via the body. They are agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desire, and inciting. If a monk relishes them, welcomes them, and remains fastened to them, then in him, relishing them, welcoming them, and remaining fastened to them, arises delight. From the origination of the delight, I tell you, comes the origination of suffering and stress. So we must understand this. I tell you as an example, sometimes you are going to some restaurants to eat some food, some special foods. Before you are going there, you have very high thoughts about it. Oh, those are so tasty, and I need to eat more, like that way. But once you go there while you eating, sometimes you feel, oh, this is what a waste of a time. uh, your desire is remains for a small time. And if you ask me how to win the lust, you have to practice three kind of practices to get rid of the lust. First of all, you have to practice it as asubha, it as disgusting. As an example, when we peel the skin, there are so many muscles, blood, um, then fat, and etc. And after the that muscles, there are so many ugly things inside of the stomach and the chest, inside of the chest. So sometimes if we practice the asubha, the disgusting of the body, even though we feel lust, it is so disgusting inside of the body, but in the outside we can enjoy. So then they have to practice kamanang adinava. That means um, the unflavors of the uh, karma. As an example, always when the desire arises, you must understand, once I feel a lust about somebody, that means always it shows me a happy in the future, and it gives me stress in this very moment. So I must not thinking about it, because it make me hurt in this very moment. And the next thing is, in the past, you may feel desires, you may satisfy your desires, but those all like a dream. Lord Buddha has explained supinakupama karma, the karma, that means desires, like a dream. Your past, all kind of uh, experiences are vanished with the past. Nothing remains. So once you feel that, um, once you like, once you, if you enjoy that lust or some desire in the future, it also will cease in a very few seconds, and it may become, it will become a dream in very small time, with very small time. So once we understand in this manner, we can uh, uh, avoid that thoughts. But for some people, they again thinking, oh, this last is for a small time, but I can enjoy for a few seconds, so it is okay for me. For that people, then we can um, comprehend this as um, sansara bhaya. That means uh, the the fearfulness of the samsara. If I thinking on them, I'm making demerits, and it caused me to suffer in the future lives. And this is a buddhopada kala, a time we have a Lord Buddha. This time, if I thinking about so many other things, it is a waste of a time. I have to practice my best meditations, Dhamma, and I have to vanish the craving in these days. If I thinking on those things, and if I tangle with those thoughts, that means I'm doing a wrong thing for myself. I'm wasting my time with thinking on them. So I told you now three things: asubha, kama nangadinavang, and sansara, fear. That means fearfulness of samsara. So if we once we practice in these three steps, uh, most of the time we can get rid of the lust and hatred. Then again, Lord Buddha again explaining, there are ideas cognizable via the intellect or the mind, which is agreeable, pleasing, charming, enduring, fostering desire, and inciting. If a monk relishes them, welcomes them, and remains fascinated to them, then in him, relishing them, welcoming them, and remaining fascinated to them, there arises delight. From the origination of delight, I tell you, comes the origination of suffering and stress. When you feel a lustful thought, it uh, it uh, it is so, we feel that lustful thought is so agreeable, so pleasing. I must thinking on it, and it's so charming and endearing, fostering desires and inciting. We welcome that thoughts. When we relish them, when we welcomes them, the thoughts are preparating inside of our mind. Then we are remains fastened to them. Then in him there arises delight. There arises craving. Craving means always suffering and stress. Once there are any kind of craving, that means suffering. If you ask me what I have to do for attain the enlightenment, Lord Buddha give the answer in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Yotasayeva tanhaya asesa viraga nirodho chago patinisaggo mutti analayo. That means in that, with us, the fully detachment, fully destruction of that craving. That means the dukkha nirodha, the cessation of suffering. Fully detached, fully destruction of the craving. Because craving means suffering. Craving causes to go to another life. And craving causes to give stress, anxiety in this very moment. But if somebody has no craving, there's no suffering, there's no stress. If somebody needs to attain the enlightenment, if somebody needs to stop the cycle of birth and rebirth, he must have to destruct the craving. But how can we destruct the craving fully? We can do it with meditations, but not like this, like 1 hour per day, 2 hours per day, not like that. We have to meditate with vanishing craving again and again, with a meditative object, with walking, with sitting, with standing, each and every posture. We have to be more aware as a soldier. When the craving arises, I'm vanishing it. The small cravings arising in our mind. As an example, once you take a bath, you may feel, I need to increase the hot level. That's also a craving. And sometimes you feel to get rid of some things or some people. It also a craving. You have to understand the craving, and you have to take your mind to present movement again and again. If somebody do this practice very thoroughly, Lord Buddha has given a time period in the Satipatthana Sutta. There, within 7 days and within 7 years, he must can attain the enlightenment, the arahantship, within 7 years. But he have to practice thoroughly. He have to vanish the craving thoroughly. So that's why he make a sangha. That's why he make the bhikkhus, because in a lay life it's so hard to do. It needs so much. It needs so much um, the solitude and rest mental and physical rest, and that's what they can attain the enlightenment. That's how they can vanish the craving. Because in our busy day-to-day life, we are programmed to the world, and we program to our works, and we always forget to distract the craving. So it's so hard to practice in the lay life. But you can try one day that that your effort will fulfill as a part of me, and you may uh, come to a position to fully destruct the craving. As an example, you might heard before, some monks, they are meditating, they are destructing their craving even without sleeping. Some people always wet their head and again doing walking meditation at the night. And some monks, as an example, Chakupala Maharahanta, he was uh, meditating 3 months without sleeping, and his eyes also got blind, but finally he attains the enlightenment. And as an Maharahanta Sona, he's doing walking meditation again and again, and bleeding from his feet. And once bleeding from the feet, he tried to um, do the walking meditation with his knees. That's how the past people took the effort to attain the enlightenment, to destruct the craving. Craving always arises in a thought. We have to destruct it also in a thought, nowhere else. We have to take our mind again and again to present moment. We have to awake our mind again and again to present moment and present experience. Then we can attain the enlightenment, if we do thoroughly within 7 years. It's so scientific. If we vanish our craving again and again with continuously, sometimes maybe without sleeping also, one day it's possible to vanish fully the craving. Again, craving can't come to your mind. So that's why some bhikkhus stay at the under trees. That's why that this venerable Punna also asked to Lord Buddha, I need to go to solitude. I need to go out from the monastery, and I need to be solitude, and I need to meditate. I need to be ardent in the meditations. So then Lord Buddha is advising him in this way. Then again, Lord Buddha again advising him. There are visuals, cognizable via the eye, agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desires, inciting. If a monk does not relish them, does not welcome them, or does not remain fastened to them, then in him, not relishing them, not welcoming them, not remaining fastened to them, there arises no delight. From the cessation of delight, I tell you, comes the cessation of suffering and stress. That always asking, we are talking about this very moment. When the visual comes to our eyes, it also cognizable via the eye consciousness, nothing else, which is so agreeable, pleasing, charming, but it is just a cognition. If we take it as just a cognition, there's no welcoming, there's no relishing, there's no remaining fastened to it, then no craving, no delight. From the cessation of the delight comes the cessation of suffering and stress. In the same manner, the sounds, smells, then tastes, and the tangibles also. If you're not welcoming them, there's no delight. From the cessation of delight comes the cessation of suffering and stress. Finally, Lord Buddha explains there are ideas cognizable via the intellect or the mind, which is agreeable, pleasing, charming, endearing, fostering desires, and inciting. If a monk does not relish them, does not welcome them, does not remain fastened to them, then in him, not relishing them, not welcoming them, not remaining fastened to them, there arises no delight, no craving. From the cessation of delight, I tell you, comes the cessation of suffering and stress. As an example, once some lustful thoughts comes to your mind, if you don't welcome them, if you don't relish them, our mind does not remaining fastened to them, then there's no delight, there's no craving. If there's no craving, we don't need to continue it, we don't need to gain it, we don't need to get rid of it. So there's no suffering, there's no stress anymore. He's fully aware to here and now. Then, when this was said, a certain monk said, the Blessed One, here is where I am ill at ease, Lord, for I don't discern as they actually are present the origination, the passing away, the allure, and drawn back, and escape from the six sense bases of contact. Then what do you think, monk? Do you regard that the I is not mine, it is not myself, it is what it is not what I am? Then he replied, yes, Lord. Then very good, monk, when it is well seen by you with right discernment that the I is not mine, it is not myself, it is not what I am, when the first sense base of contact will be abandoned by you for the sake of no further becoming in the future. Then again, he's asking, do you regard that the ear is not mine, the nose is not mine, the tongue is not mine, the body is not mine? Because I tell you, if we take ourselves as this I is mine, this body is mine, it may be true in a physical way, but always that is just a thought. The body also just a seeing, just a visual. Sometimes it comes to your attention as a visual. Sometimes it comes to your attention as a tangible. Sometimes it comes to your attention as a thought, nothing else. Because if you're aware to this present moment here and now, again and again, you don't have to uh, you don't have any idea there's an independent body is existing. If you're thinking this independent body is existing, it is just a thought, it is just a conceiving what arises in your mind. So do you regard the mind is not mine, it is not myself, it is not what I am? Then he replied, yes, Lord. Then Lord Buddha is replying, very good, monk. When it was seen by you with the right discernment that the mind is not mine, it is not myself, it is not what I am, then the sixth sense base of contact will be abandoned by you for the sake of no further becoming in the future. Then Lord Buddha again telling, well then Punna, now that I have instructed you with a brief instruction, in which country are you going to live? Then he's replying, Lord, There is a country called Sunaparanta. Sunaparanta. I am going to live there. Then Lord Buddha again telling Punna, the Sunaparanta people are fierce. They are rough. If they insult and ridicule you, what will you think? Then Venerable Punna replied, if they insult and ridicule me, I will think these Sunaparanta people are civilized, very civilized, in that they don't hit me with their hands. That is what I will think. Oh, blessed one, that is what I will think. Or one will go on. You also can apply those in your day-to-day life. If someone insult you, ridicule you, you also can think, oh, they are so civilized. They are very good because they didn't hit me. So they are very good people. Then the hatred not arise in your mind, because you can't expect that they don't insult me, they don't ridicule me. You can't expect like that. And if they insult you or not, if they insult you, if you take the anger or not, if you have anger or not, it does not make any sense. Anger does not make any sense. If you take anger or not, they insult you. Anger means only a demerit what you are preparing in your own mind. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your life. So you just have to make free your mind from the anger, because anger can't do anything. So then again, Lord Buddha is asking, if they, but if they hit you with their hands, what will you think? Then Venerable Punna replied, I will think these Sunaparanta people are civilized, and very good, in that they don't hit me with a cold, with a cloth, with a stick. Then again, Lord Buddha is asking, but if they hit with a stick, then he replied, I will think these Sunaparanta people are very good, very civilized, in that they don't hit me with a knife. First they, then Lord Buddha asking, what if they hit with your knife? Then what you will do? Then Venerable Punna is replying, I will think these Sunaparanta people are very good, very civilized, in that they don't take my life with a sharp knife. Look at that. If somebody hit you with a knife, you have to make your mind into present moment like this way. Oh, he's so good, he's so nice, because he didn't kill me. In that way, you can make loving kindness, you can make the metta inside of yourself. Then finally, Lord Buddha again asking from him, what if they take your life with a sharp knife? What will you think? Then he replied, if they take my life with a sharp knife, I will think there are disciples of the Blessed One who horrified, humiliated, and disgusted by the body and by the life, have sought for an assassin, but here I have met my assassin without searching for him. That is what I will think. O blessed one, that is what I will think. O one will go. Look at that. If you need to attain the arahantship, the enlightenment, you have to horrified, humiliated, and disgusted by the body and by the life. Once we thinking about the arahantship, we have to gain some kind of knowledges before attain the arahantship. Those are, one thing is, we have to take a we have we have to gain a knowledge that existing of a 1 second of existing body and mind is not good. I must not exist 1 second more. The body, the existing of body also not good, existing of mind also not good, at least a 1 second. We have to gain a knowledge like that. And another knowledge is, we have to gain a knowledge, I am not anyone of anybody, and anybody is not anyone of mine. That is the second knowledge. We have to gain those knowledge if we need to attain the arahantship in very near. So he's telling Venerable Punna, explaining in Lord Buddha's disciples, some disciples who are living, who is actually they are horrified, humiliated, and disgusted by the body and by the life. So they are searching for a assassin. Some bhikkhus who practice meditation for ages, but they didn't attain the enlightenment yet. So they are searching for an assassin. Oh, if I can't attain the arahantship, I don't live anymore, like that way. So they are searching for assassin. But here I have met my assassin without searching for him. That is what I will think. You also can make sure your mind in this manner. If you do so many merits, so many dana, so many times of meditations, so if somebody going to kill you, you can be happy. Because of my merits, I will surely go to the heaven, so I don't have to be worry, because the heaven is rather good than this human's world. So some people in the past, some monks were searching for assassin, but I have met my assassin for free without any searching for them. So you can be happy like that if someone going to kill you. The Lord Buddha praised him as good Punna, very good. Possessing such calm and self-control, you are fit to dwell among the Sunaparanta people. Now it is time to do as you see fit. Then the Venerable Punna, delighting and rejoicing the Blessed One's words, rising from his seat, bowed the Blessed One and left, keeping him on his right side. Setting dwelling in the order and taking his robe and bowl, he set out for the Sunaparanta country, and after wandering stage by stage, he arrived there. There he lived during the rain's retreat. He established, within 3 months, he established 500 male and 500 female lay followers in the practice, while he realized the 3 knowledges and then attained the total unbinding within very few years. In very small time, he attained the arahantship, and within 3 months, he has established 500 males and 500 females lay followers. Then a large number of monks went to the Blessed One on arrival, having bowed and one day after some days, Venerable Punna was died. Then the Lord Buddha went the Sunaparanta with another bhikkhus. Then a large number of monks went to the Blessed One and arrived, having bowed down to him, sat to one side. As they were sitting there, they are said to him, Lord, the clansman named Punna, whom the Blessed One instructed with a brief instruction, has died. What is his destination? What is his future state? So Lord Buddha replied, monks, the clansman Punna was wise. He practiced the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma and did not pester me, did not trouble me with issues related to the Dhamma. The clansman Punna is totally unbound. That means he totally enlightened. So this is the sutta. Then I also wish you all and bless you all. Do more merits, be more and protect more your sila, and do more meditations, and always try to keep your mind in here and now, and always try to avoid the craving, and be uh, and come to a position to attain the enlightenment in this Gautama Buddha Sasana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If you have any questions, can ask now. Is there any questions?
कुणाला प्रश्न आहेत का?
Sir, Vicharu.
Okay.
Bhante, can you briefly explain Kamana Adinav and how to apply it?
Kamanang Adinava, first Lord Buddha says, Atti Kankolupama Kama. As an example, the karma, desires like a bone. One day, a dog goes to um, a place of killing cows for the meat. Then that butcher gives that dog for a bleeding bone, so that dog taking that bleeding bone and drinking that blood. Within small time, his mouth also get not good, and he has to drink his own blood by by chewing that bone. But after that, within small time, he have to faint, because he's drinking his own blood without knowing it. In the same manner, if we our mind always try to go to visuals, sounds, tastes, and smells, tangibles, and thoughts. But we have to understand, we can't satisfy them any day. Again and again, we just have to be faint. We just have to become anxiety and stress. That is the reality of those the desires to visuals, ears, sounds, tastes, smells, tangibles, and thoughts. And again, Lord Buddha is explaining the karma is like a dream, and it's like a knife, because when the karma arises, our sila crushed, our samadhi vanished, our, our wisdom becomes slaved when the karma arises in our mind. So Lord Buddha asking us to understand the reality of those karma. It is so unsatisfied, and we can't control, and it is there is no happy like it shows. Best example is, when you go to some kind of restaurant to eat some special food, within small time you become unsatisfied. You feel, oh, there is there is nothing, anything what I have expected before. That is the way of human's mind. So once we are thinking about the karma adina, we become able to get rid of those.
Okay, Bhante. in brief, it is better to not to delight in any thought or any sensual pleasures, but it doesn't happen. The thought arises. So best way is to apply these three things: Ashubhavana, Kamano, Adino, and Sansara Bhaya.
Yeah.
As the thought arises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
But in the first days of practice, you may feel it is so hard for me. It's rather better to go with those thoughts. It's rather better to welcome those thoughts. But if you do thoroughly this practice, your mind becomes the thoughts going to not come to your mind. It will happen. I can promise you, it will happen in few years. Once you going to destruct the craving again and again, thoughts become not coming to your mind. Your mind becomes free from those kind of thoughts. It will happen within a few years. Just need to practice.
Okay, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu.
Is there any questions?
Vandami Bhante.
Yes.
Bhante, layperson can do these things in his life.
But you mean what I have preached? Those things?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
layperson
Bhante.
also can do things, because if somebody need to enlighten, somebody needs to destruct. He have to destruct the craving totally. So that is what we have to do. But as a layperson, it's so hard to do in your lay life. But that not says then it does not make any sense, because we have to destruct the craving if we need to attain the enlightenment. But if it's hard, if it's hard to do so, you have to practice little by little, and one day you have to make your time, make your life like that. Make your life free to meditate, and make your life free to destruct to all kind of desires.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah. For now, you can practice in a small way, one by one, step by step, uh, according to your environment.
Yes. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bhante. Vandami Bhante.
I think there is no question, Bhante, now.
Okay. There's another one.
Yeah.
My impression. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
हाँ बंते जी, मैं साधना करती रहती हूँ दिन में 2 या 3 घंटे, और आजकल मुझे मतलब the craving for food which I used to initially crave for spicy food, वो lost होते जा रहा है, आई एम फीलिंग लाइक वो मुझे नहीं खाना है करके, but I'm still seeing anicca bodh in that can also change sometimes. And I still want to learn from you, like क्या मुझे साधना बढ़ानी चाहिए, या कभी कभी क्या होता है आलस से आ जाता है तो साधना सो के कर लेती हूँ, तो क्या वो गलत है?
She asking about the craving of the food,
Mhm.
and sometimes she doing meditation, so she gets sleepiness. So that time she sleep on the bed and do the meditation while in a sleeping position. Is it okay to do what she have to do? She asking.
We can meditate in 4 postures. It's okay. We can meditate while sleeping also, but the best meditation posture is sitting.
Okay.
Also, she asked about the craving of the food.
My craving for food is getting lost. Like initially I used to crave for spicy food, now that is getting lost, but still I can see that that can also change someday. Again the craving can come back, so I'm not too obsessed with that. But then yes, I'm feeling that if craving for food is getting lost, so simultaneously people can, you know, non-veg craving can also get lost, even celibacy can happen easily. So I am getting like a good feeling that yes, meditation can help in many ways. Automatically these changes will happen, I'm feeling
Yeah.
that.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, Bhante. I think she only telling, not asking the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then do we transfer the
Yeah.
merits? Yeah.
Yes, Bhante. Yes.
Now you can make your mind so happy. Now today we listen to the Dhamma, take the precepts, observe the precepts, and some kind of Dhamma discussion, and we can transfer the all merits. If any being in those worlds who is requesting for merits, we can transfer them, transfer the merits to them. So chant with me. Ettavata chammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodhantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata chammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe bhutanumodhantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata chammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe satthanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumodhitva chirang rakhantu sambuddha sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumodhitva chirang rakhantu sambuddha desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sambuddha savakam chirang rakhantu mang paranti. We can transfer the merits to our late relatives. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukitha huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukitha huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukitha huntu ñātayo. Then we can do our wish. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. idang me punya khammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamujjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, 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 Bhante.